I saw this deal and I booked this trip so fast. I didn't even pay attention to the dates I was picking. It's time for a trip and I hope you have your passport ready because next up is St. Maarten. Hey, welcome back, or if you're new, welcome. Brands of Chloé is all things personal finance, travel, and lifestyle vlogs. I have done a few videos like this on my channel before, book a trip with me. Today we're talking about all things that went into planning my solo trip to St. Maarten. Also, I didn't even know when I was booking this trip that this is also during their carnival season. So I will be partaking in some of those carnival activities as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you stay tuned for the whole video because at the end of this video, I will give you a sneak peek of my St. Maarten vlog. Just to clear things up before we get started in how I actually planned and booked this trip, let's talk about St. Maarten. So there's actually two sides to the island of St. Maarten. You have St. Maarten, that is spelled like this, and that is the Dutch side, and that is where the international airport is. And then you have St. Maarten spelled like this, and that is the French side. But once you're on the island, you don't need your passport to go between the French and the Dutch side. You could just drive in between both of them, no problem. But I'm actually staying on both sides. So I decided I wanted to spend 2 nights on the French side and 2 nights on the Dutch side. So I'll be doing things throughout both and I'm excited about it. It's something different. We're going to quickly run through what I booked for this trip, why I booked it. So first up, let's talk about flights. I definitely said this in a different video, but I really don't want to have to pay for flights, especially international flights, out of pocket this year. I want to utilize the points and miles that I have from credit cards. So I did just that for this trip. I actually booked this trip back in November. I saw this deal and I booked this trip so fast. I didn't even pay attention to the dates I was picking because I was so excited. And then I ended up having to go back and change my dates, but it's okay. We're gonna get into all of that. For this trip, I was just doing my weekly searches of travel because I just always want to go. So I was doing a random search and I was like, let me look up St. Maarten again because I've been wanting to go to St. Maarten for a while. And I was on Virgin Atlantic's website and I was looking up by points and I came across New York to St. Maarten, 25,000 points. I was like, let's go. I had the points. I was so excited. Even though I was booking through Virgin Atlantic is an airline partner with Delta. So I was booking my flight through Virgin Atlantic, but it is with Delta flights. And yes, it's out of New York because I just don't find deals out of Dallas like that. And tickets between Dallas and New York are usually affordable, so that wasn't an issue for me. So I found the flight, 25,000 points. I originally booked it, I think, for the very end of April to the beginning of May. That was when I originally booked it. I actually didn't have a Virgin Atlantic account, so I had to create one. I transferred the points from my American Express card. I do have the American Express Gold card. There was no transfer bonus at the time, but it's fine. It was 25,000 points. I was okay with that. I transferred the points to Virgin Atlantic and then I went to go book the flight. I wasn't able to book the flight. I kept on trying and it just wasn't working. And it ended up being, I had to call them. And the reason why I was having issues is because I had just created my Virgin Atlantic account and transferred in the points. This is a reminder to just create your account in advance. Just makes it easier so you don't have to do that. They didn't charge me anything extra to book it over the phone for me. They were super helpful, but that was just something I went through. Also, my last video is an entire video on different deals I found through Virgin Atlantic for Delta flights. So check that out. I show you guys how to book award flights with your points to Belize, Nigeria, Australia, and a bunch of other places. So check that video out. I will link it up above for you. But we booked it. Everything was cool. That flight was 25,000 points and it cost $86.40 in taxes. The cent per point value wasn't that great. It was only 1.4. But again, I've been wanting to go to St. Maarten for a while. I was fine with that. It was over 1. Don't go below 1, but usually minimum 2 cents per point is better. That was my St. Maarten flights. Like I said, I was so excited about this 25,000 points that I just booked it. I really didn't pay attention to the dates. After like 10 minutes of like being excited, I was like, oh, let me like really check these dates to make sure I can. And I did some like research. I was like, oh wait, I can't even do these dates. So I had to go, and there was still availability for other dates, and I actually changed it. So my actual trip dates are April 23rd to April 27th, and it was the same amount of points. I did have to call again. She changed it for me, and yeah, that was it. Okay, so that flight I booked on November 10th for April. So I've known about this. I actually was supposed to go on a trip last month, but long story short, I had to cancel it as I was literally in the airport. Still kind of not over that, but it's fine. We are finally going on a trip very, very soon. Next up, so my flights from Dallas to New York. For whatever reason, JetBlue decided to get rid of the one direct flight from Dallas to New York that they had daily. Don't know why they got rid of it. So that's my favorite airline, and that's usually what I would fly going back and forth, and I get a free check bag with JetBlue because I have their credit card. I actually ended up booking Southwest to go home. My Southwest flight came to almost $192. At the end of this video too, I'm gonna have a full breakdown of all the prices and total and everything, so you will see that. Next up are the accommodations. As I said before, I'm staying on both the French side and the Dutch side. So I am starting off on the French side. I had been contemplating so many different things. When I first booked the trip, I remember I was looking at like hotels, resorts, and everything. And at that time, I didn't know I was going to be staying on the French side. So there's a very popular resort, and I see a lot of people staying there when they go to St. Maarten. I think the Sonesta Marina or something like that. Sonesta, they have like a adults only side and a side that allows like children. So the side that allows children, I remember during Black Friday, they had a sale. So it would have been about $600 something all inclusive for me to stay at that resort for 4 nights. I didn't book it, but I'm actually glad I didn't because I'm staying on both sides. But yeah, if you're looking to plan a trip for next year, maybe they did have Black Friday / Cyber Monday deals. So look out for that, or just other holidays. They might have deals too for you to get a discounted rate, because without the discount, I think it was like $900 something for one person for 4 nights. But when I came across the hotel on the French side that I'm staying at, Homage Hotel, I was just looking at pictures and their property looked so beautiful, and I'm really excited. And then the second 2 nights I'm staying at an Airbnb. I think it's either next to or a part of the Morgan Resort. I think that's another area. I literally just booked that Airbnb on April 4th, and I booked the French side hotel on like the last week of March. I've had these flights since November, but I've been debating going back and forth. I was like, oh, I'm gonna book it, I'm gonna book it, I'm gonna book it. Less than a month in advance, that's when I finally booked my stays, but it's fine. The Airbnb, it looks very nice. I still have to contact the host because I need early check-in and late checkout. It's not even a host, it's like one of those companies that just owns properties. I'm sure it's going to be a good stay. They're both about like the same price. I will say I booked my hotel on the French side through the Capital One travel portal. Don't even get me started on the Capital One Venture X card right now. It was actually cheaper to book it through their website than the actual hotel's website. The French side hotel was $269 and the Airbnb was $259. Let's get into the fun stuff, activities, excursions. So like I said before too, this is during their carnival season. So there's a lot of fetes, parties, everything going on. I'm not there for their parade day with the costumes and the masqueraders and the road and all that. I'm not there for that day, but I am there for Juve, and I love Juve. Literally after Juve, I will have to run back, shower, and then run to the airport. We're really kind of cutting it close. I believe there's like 2 fetes I'm going to and Juve. So that's the carnival stuff that I'm doing, and you'll see that when I'm there. And then for activities, if you haven't seen some of my other travel vlogs or videos, I love a good boat day. So of course I found a boat ride. There's a bunch of them to choose from, but when I saw this one, I was like, oh, I have to pick this one. I booked another excursion. You're gonna have to wait until the vlog to see that one. But my activities are pretty much planned and booked, and I'm going to have a full beach day. I believe I'll mostly be going to beaches on the French side because honestly, from the research I've done, the beaches on the French side look so much nicer. But of course, I'll check out beaches on the Dutch side as well. I feel like there's going to be a lot in this vlog. Like, I'm looking at my list of things to do and I'm just like, how do I have time for all of this? But very excited. I found a restaurant that I really want to go to for dinner one night. A lot of nice things. Also, it's very common for people to rent cars in St. Maarten, but if you're new here, then I'd like you to know that I do not like to drive on vacation, okay? If I'm on vacation, I don't want to drive. So I need to find like a taxi man, like a reliable taxi service, so I could just, you know, get his number or her number and just call them, text them to come pick me up from different places. I'm not too like pressed about figuring that out. I kind of feel like that's one of the things that you figure out when you get there. So I'm not too pressed about that, but that is one thing I need. What else do I need to do? So for Juve, I was trying to see if they have like Juve bands that I could like t-shirt bands or something for me to play with. I couldn't really find one. Trying to find more information. There wasn't too much information. To total up everything, for flights, it was 25,000 points and $278.35. For hotels, Airbnbs, the total for the 4 nights was $528.03. For excursions, activities, parties, $304.98. Transportation, I don't know the total yet because I haven't fully looked into it. I think airport transportation will be about like $20 to $25 round trip. And then of course I'm going to have like taxi services. I am bringing cash because I think it's a pretty cash heavy place. As promised, here is a glimpse into the St. Maarten vlog. There you have it. I have a ton of other travel videos and content on my channel, or if you want to see other videos on credit cards and credit card points, I have those as well. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you at my next video.